Welcome back to the New York Athletic Club Women's Semifinals, the WPH Race for 8 Women's Pro Stop. As we get underway right now, Jessica Gawley up against Katrina Casey. Referee is Lisa Fraser-Gilmore. Gawley from Canada and Katrina Casey from Ireland. And there's a right corner kill opportunity for Gawley, who misses that shot. And now Katrina Casey, our collegiate champion just last weekend.
Side out. 0-0.
You'll see that Gawley is a lefty. Recently had shoulder surgery, and she misses that left corner kill, and Casey comes into the server's box here.
It's gonna be a long game. 0-0.
Lisa says it's going to be a long game. It's probably not going to be a long game, but if any indication after the first side out, change of serve keeps continuing, of course this could go on forever, but I just don't see that happening. This is going to be a big setup for Gawley, who just hits that ball with her left hand. You see Katrina knows that Gawley's lefty and is going to try to keep balls right on the wall, whether it's to the left or the right. Katrina Casey plays a very cool style of game. You saw that she hit the first ball to the left, then to the right, then to the left, and then closed it out at the right.
1-0.
Just going back and forth, trying to wear down her elder statesman. Big setup back walk. Katrina just flips it back to the front. Still trying to get a feel of this court, and there's that beautiful kill shot there from Casey.
2-0. 3-0.
A quick 3 easy points here for Casey. Word just in that Emma Pichot defeated Dave Fink in that bottom bracket of the 5th place playoff.
4-0.
That means that Pichot will be playing Iglesias for 5th place. Dave Fink and Luis Moreno take 7th. Here, though, we're trying to figure out who's going to be in the finals to face Tracy Davis. Will it be our #1 seed, Katrina Casey, our #1 ranked pro, or Jessica Gawley? You heard Jessica say it was a bad bounce. I didn't see it. I don't think the referee saw it as well, but Katrina's going to give it.
Didn't even swing at it. 4-0.
Katrina's going to give it to her anyway, and so is the referee. 4-0.
Point.
Doesn't really matter. 5-0. Casey flips that ball 2-all pass. She saw that J-Gall was coming in, so she just decided to throw it past her on that left wall. That's a nice, easy shot. No replay. Little screen there, no replay again. There's that little shot that I'm telling you. It's a 2-wall pass that just floats past Jessica.
Point.
And you're really seeing a real cool game from Katrina Casey, who has this style of, I'm going to hit it to your left, I'm going to hit it to your right, I'm going to hit it to your left, I'm going to hit it to your right.
6-0.
And she doesn't do it with a lot of power. Now it's 7-0. And without effort, Katrina's doing what she does to pretty much everybody on the tour. Last week, I believe, in the Collegiate Nationals, she played multiple rounds of handball and only gave up a combined 21 points.
1 minute. First time out. Scores 8-0.
I was surprised today to read that Katrina last night against Maria Dugas gave up 11 points in her match, because Katrina's, I've never seen anybody get into double digits with Katrina, but it It happened earlier in this tournament. And there's a timeout being called. Up next, it'll be the men's semis with Paul Brady going up against Mondo Ortiz. And we'll find out who will be in the finals there. Robbie McCarthy and Nadi Alvarado in the late match, which will be another fun one. This broadcast brought to you by Edel Handball online at edelhandball.com. Check out their new swag. If you haven't seen the latest issue of Handball magazine yet, be sure to check it out. There's some pretty cool photos by Keith Thody from the Simple Green US Open. If that's not enough, you can see all of Keith's photos at keithsphotos.toadworld.net. I'm assuming that's how they say it, Toad World, T-O-A-D World, not to add world, but Toad World. I guess if I type it in and there's a picture of a frog, I guess that's what it would be. Look at that, just amazing soft left corner kill from Katrina. She does it without any effort whatsoever. She's like Clyde Drexler from the Portland Trailblazers back in the 90s. Yeah, that's right, I make obscure references from the 90s. And that's another great shot from Jessica Gawley.
0 serves 9.
Jessica's a multi-Canadian national champion. That ball hit Jessica on the way in, I thought, but I guess that was just a smile as if to say, you're amazing.
9 serves 0.
9-0 first game, 2-21, breaker to 11. Katrina flips that ball to the deep part of the back right wall, knowing that Jessica's a lefty. Katrina should go to the left here, just to follow her left, right thing that she does. And then another missed shot from Jessica Gawley.
Ten serves 0.
Look at this amazing serve. Katrina says, I actually love it when my opponent hits it to my left hand. I feel so much comfortable taking that ball with my left over my head, behind or down low. It doesn't really matter.
Point.
That is a crazy three-wall shot right there. The ball almost went back toward the front wall, had so much spin on it. 11-0. Nice power there from Jessica. Now, Katrina should go back to the left here, and she does.
Point.
And it's right down that left wall.
Twelve 0. Point.
Now at 13-0.
Second one. 13 zip. But she just
We're in the middle of a timeout here. Katrina Casey just dominating Jessica Gawley. It's really just so unassuming the way that she's scoring these points. And, you know, we've all been there before where it's a little bit of what you're doing. It's a lot of what they're doing. It's nothing just completely stealth or lethal from the opponent scoring all the points. It just seems that everything's not in your favor, but yet somehow that's just what your opponent does to everybody, and you just can't figure it out. Casey up 13-0 here in the first game. And another timeout for Jessica Gawley. This is an extended timeout. Didn't hear the referee call the score there. But somebody did.
Point.
Jessica Gawley has probably one of the best technical games there is in this game. That is until you see Katrina Casey play.
14-0.
Rarely is she off balance. Now 14-0 here.
Side out.
It's a beautiful shot from Gawley.
Zero serves 14. Short. Nice stuff. Second serve. Point.
Katrina Casey misses that flat rollout left-handed kill, and that gives the first point to Jay Gall. 1-14. That's just a rare point given up from Casey.
Second serve. Side out. Fourteen serves 1. Side out. 1 serves 14. Side out. Fourteen serves 1. Point.
There's another point.
Fifteen serves 1.
It's a great serve from Katrina Casey because she gets a different opportunity with each player when she uses that high underhand lob serve. And there's a beautiful left corner kill from left-hander Jay Gall. Gets back into the server's box, trailing 1-15.
1 serves 16.
1-16, sorry.
Rally. Side out.
You see Jay Gall saying, kind of yelling at herself, and then she looked over and saw Katrina just right on her left, said, well, you're there anyway. Even if I would have got it, you were still there. That's what these young kids are good at. They know exactly where you're going to hit it.
Point.
See how she pushes Jay Gall toward that front court, dead center, knows she's coming in, goes with a 2-all pass, changes her shot in the middle of her stroke.
17 serves 1.
And it's not all just out of luck like it just happened. That's exactly what she's trying to do. And the lefty uses her right hand to get that kill shot and another side out. 1-17. Jay
One
Gall
serve,
serving
17.
to Katrina Casey. And Jay Gall doesn't look bad in there. I mean, a lot of times you're seeing just terrible shots from the opponents of Casey. Casey's just playing such a good game that there's really not much you can do. That's an awesome flip back there.
Side out.
It's unassuming. She flips it to the back wall. Doesn't even make it to the flat back wall, just slides across, and Jay Gall can't even get it to the front wall. And this is an overhit. Watch what Casey does here.
Point.
Gets another point.
18 serves 1.
Score here is 18-1.
Point. 19 serves 1.
I want to thank Vern Hayden for coming in here, sponsoring some nice silver. Just happens to be holding a bunch of ice.
Point.
And inside that ice, a nice
20
adult
serves 1.
beverage from the tap room.
First game. 5 minutes.
That first game going right to Katrina Casey in about 11 minutes. 21 points for Casey here, and we're going to have game 2 after a 5-minute break. You're watching the women's race stop number 2. We're at the New York Athletic Club semifinals upper bracket. Winner will face Tracy Davis tomorrow morning in the women's finals. Coming up later this afternoon, or I should say maybe early evening here, Paul Brady and Armando Ortiz in the men's semifinals, and the winner will face either Robbie McCarthy or Nadia Alvarado in that 6 p.m. Eastern time gig that we have going on. So stick close for all of that action. In the meantime, though, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back in just a bit. Game number 2, Katrina Casey and Jessica Gawley next here at racefor8.com.
This is one amazing truffula tree. Can you imagine a place where these grow everywhere? Yes, it's called the Forest, a magical place to enjoy with your family.
Ooh.
So discover the Forest and explore all the wonder that's there. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams.
Michael Adams.
Students who miss 18 days of school in any grade risk falling behind and not graduating. Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today.
We are different. Society should aspire to be more like us.
Be part of the first class. Get energized. Get outside.
Hold on, guys. It's gonna get bumpy.
And get moving. Experience the power of physical activity. Join the movement at ActionHeroAlliance.com.
"7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Is she there, Trina? She's coming in?
We are back,
Alrighty.
New York Athletic Club, for game number 2.
Okay, 0 serve 0.
And Jessica Gawley scored 1 point in that first set against Katrina Casey. Katrina, our current 3-time collegiate national
Side out.
champion.
0 serve 0. Point.
And there's the first point. Katrina wins the first one,
1
21
serve
to
0.
1. That ball just dies in the back left corner. Another point now. Casey has a big,
2 serve
strong
0.
fan base out of Ireland watching. I was watching her fill out her player bio earlier today alongside her best friend, Aoife McCarthy. Came to that question, who's the best player of all time? And Katrina said, Tony Healy. And Aoife said, no, Robbie McCarthy is. And then they started arguing. I know Tony's back home in Cork,
Side out.
liking to hear his name every now and then.
0
Katrina said
serves
there's
2.
no doubt that he was the best player ever.
Side out. Two serve 0. Point. Three serve 0. Side out.
Jay Gull digs that ball off the back wall, gets a side out, 0 serves 3.
0
This is
serves
game
3.
number 2. A lot of people just tuning in to this live broadcast.
Side out.
In fact, there's a lot of people that are just discovering that they're not able to watch the live broadcast anymore after
serve
they
0.
refresh the page. It flipped to the pay-per-view service after giving a freebie for the last 2
Point.
days to the viewers. A lot of players are contacting me saying it was working, now it's not. Well, it requires a username and password now.
4 serve 0.
4-0. So if you're watching on a free account, do not refresh your page. I guess that's the moral of the story. Someone might say at home, well, obviously, if they're hearing you talk right now, then they have a username and password logged in, but that's not the case. Do not refresh. Don't leave. Don't go anywhere. Even if you go to another tab as you're browsing the internet, it might just ruin your stay here.
Side out.
0 to 5 is the score as Jay Gall tries to just find some type of weakness here so she can exploit it.
What would that be, Dave?
I'm trying to figure it out myself.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a flaw in Katrina's game.
I just would say that you'd have to have a little bit of power to see how she can adapt to that, but you can't. That's not something you can just develop like, oh, I'm just going to do this on my shots. Katrina, first of all, doesn't really give you an opportunity to hit anything offensive. And she sets it up with that serve right there.
Point.
You see Jay Gall jumping up in the air, offhanded, trying to throw it to the front wall, and still can't even get the ball back to the front wall. Completely in fits here. Now, when you talk to Jay Gall about what's going on, she just points at her shoulder saying, I can't do it, but she's not hitting a lot of balls with that rotator cuff shoulder that she has. Katrina's making her use the other shoulder. It doesn't really matter which shoulder you use. Katrina just finds a way to make you look like you've not played handball much.
Good to see Katrina wearing the powder blue WPH jersey.
Oh, I can. No, I can still. 0.
Katrina told me on Sunday, leaving North Carolina from the collegiates that she slammed, that she was going to try to get adjusted to the red 21. She played with the white 21 at the collegiates. Hope that she could get some practice games in and be competitive. Also look forward to playing with the top ladies from Canada. She said, I've never played against anyone from Canada before. Little did she know that she did play Maria Dugas in 2011.
Well, we had to remind her that.
0 serve 7.
You can see, Dave, just by Jessica's stroke that she's got an amazing stroke. She's a pro mentality type player. We've seen her play against the best. She was ranked #2 in 2007 on the women's tour, nearly defeating Anna Engel when Anna Engel was #1, lost 11-10 in Concord and I believe in Texas. Of course, though, Dave, Jessica has had 2 kids since then, shoulder surgery, and playing against a young lady that's quite possibly on her way to rewriting the record books. Also plays almost every day, training. And it's hard, Dave, when you're work full-time, you're raising a couple kids, you've got shoulder surgery, and you really only get to play a couple times a month to compete against somebody that's dedicating themselves to this game. Experience doesn't overcome court time. Oh, look at that beautiful pass from Katrina. Here's a big setup, and she finds that left corner. Jessica knows she's going to the left corner, Dave, and Katrina hits it so well that it's completely out of reach. Katrina leading, Dave, 30-1 in this match, combining the scores from the first 2 games.
0 serves 9. 9 serve 0.
Yeah, that's a lot of points, Dave. 9-0 here.
Was that the delayed reaction? They had to soak
10
in.
serve 0.
I just didn't want to interrupt anybody. 10-0.
It's just me and you. There's no other anybody. I'm actually thinking about going into junk time right now.
Really?
Yeah, but
Not
I don't
me.
want to be accused of being dumb as a clod either. So it's a fine line. You're really walking the tightrope between being uber professional and
11
dumb as a
serve
clod.
0.
Sometimes I like to toggle that line, even go to the dark side. I know you don't, Dave. Very focused.
Nope.
Nope. Want to welcome in Katrina, Dave, who's watching this match 4 weeks from now.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
0
She will
serves
be
11.
memorizing everything that we're talking about, in fact.
And if she's anything like me, composing emails as to why we're not talking about the match enough. Oh, beautiful shot there from Katrina. Sort of played cat and mouse there.
Eleven serve 0.
Katrina keeps the ball up around your
Point.
shoulder or chest, and then when she gets a setup, she buries it. So you really don't have a lot of good looks.
12 serve 0.
I know I had a chance to spar with Katrina the other day, Dave, before the tournament started. Very impressed.
It seems to me that one way to get her would be just to have some power and try to pass her down the lines, because she does everything so technically
13 serve
perfect.
0.
But she's the one dictating traffic, and that's the part that I'm not talking about, is that it's very hard to throw power out there when she does stuff like that. Deep
That is the
cracks,
second.
two-wall passes.
Scores
She
14-0.
seems to have this ability to pull Jessica up, and then she does a soft two-wall pass. It doesn't really even make the back wall. It's just, it's kind of tricky. So when you say you need to hit the ball harder down the lines, well, you have to be able to get the ball in a position where you can plant your feet and actually load up and hit it hard. And these women so far that I've seen in the tournament haven't been unable to do that. Now, Maria Dugas yesterday was closest able to tee off on a ball and hit as about as hard as anybody, but she just was also finding herself off balance enough that she only scored 11 points.
Yeah. Well, you say only 11, but that's pretty substantial against Katrina, who only allowed 11 points in 8 matches at the Collegiate Nationals just a couple days ago. Combined 11 points, Dave. I know you know that. We want to apologize to future Katrina, as I know that she'll correct me. It was actually 13 points in 8 matches, Dave.
Yeah, she actually knows the numbers, which is,
yeah,
I wouldn't say it's embarrassing. I think it's intuitive and also probably intellectually great to have a player know all of that stuff, but nonetheless.
Well, when people know it, we act like there's something wrong with them. But then when they don't, we're upset with them. So you really don't win with us.
15 serve 0.
I think Jessica Gawley's finding out what a lot of players have already found out here. She's now
Oops. 16 serve 0.
she's now scored 1 point out of the last 47.
47?
Excuse me, 37.
Yeah. I don't want future Katrina to be upset.
0 serve 16.
She will be.
No, she will. I'd like to welcome in Mr. Casey, Katrina's father, who is watching from Ireland right now, Dave. He also crunches the numbers.
16 serve 0.
He's raising a lovely young daughter. She's one of our favorites on the tour, as well as many others. She's really a sharp girl, Dave. Very witty, very smart.
16.
We had a chance to spend some time with her in California. And Dave, this may or may not be off topic, but she arrived here. That's a terrible call, but I don't want to get into that right now because I'm going to tell a very heartwarming story.
Okay.
She showed up here in New York after meeting my son a couple of months ago with 2 gifts. She and Aoife McCarthy brought my son a hat and a nice little t-shirt. I mean, who thinks about things like that, Dave? I know you do, but not many others.
Jessica's happy with herself for scoring that point, and that was more of a gift coming from the referee on that replay. That would have been the 17th point for Katrina. Okay, so who does do that? I think Timbo did it, or was that,
was Martin
Markearns? Okay.
Yeah. I guess it's an Irish thing.
That is impressive.
Yes, very. Oh, nice shot there from Jessica. And Jessica had to take 2 timeouts to get that first point, Dave, and no timeouts to get the second.
2 serve 16.
Is it a trend?
Oh, that's a good serve. But Dave, Jessica really backs way up after she serves. I mean, wouldn't you like to see her stay in the box a little bit more, at least in that red carpet area?
Well, just a little longer to try to dictate what that
she can
return
always
of serve.
She can always back up if the return of serve pushed her back, but by backing up so far, she gives herself no look at a first strike. You'll see Katrina, Dave, stay right in that area between the dotted line and the short line, looking to pounce on a weak return. And there she is. She's in control of the rally here. Oh, Jessica pushes the ball back into that right corner, Dave, and earns the side out.
16.
She's now won 3 of the last 4 rallies, including the last 2 points scored in this match.
Well, that's all coming from that bad call that Lisa made.
Well, oh, that's not a good shot from Jessica there, Dave. I don't know how we can justify that error.
I think it's unjustifiable.
Okay.
16 serves 2.
16 to 2. First game was 21 to 1 in favor of Kat. Not sure, Dave, if you know who is going to be reffing that first men's semifinals coming up a little bit later on.
Side out.
You see Jessica holding her right arm. That's what you do when you've only scored 3 points.
Rodney Fink up in that hot seat. Yeah.
And we've seen crazier things happen in this tournament. Might as well have him go up there.
Well, I know you're looking forward to that top 10 that debuts the week after every event that you're not consulted on nor mentioned. Oh, that's a great shot from Katrina.
Side out. 16 serves 2.
This is a huge slump right now for Katrina. She hasn't scored a point in 3 minutes and 45 seconds.
Side out.
Finally, no announcer's curse. Katrina Casey asked her, you know, who's your game more like? And I said, it's like Dave, you're like a young Dave Chapman in there. And she said, no, Tony Healy.
The two were spotted playing 2 bounce here today, Dave, in this very room. I know that makes you happy.
16 serves 2.
Like to see the announcing team, Dave, pick up their energy a little bit here in this pivotal women's semifinal.
It's just such a beauty to watch. You know, you don't see Picasso
Yeah.
rushing his brush
Really?
strokes.
Okay.
It's hard to say that word, brush strokes. And I'm not comparing this broadcast crew to a Picasso painting. Look how she's able to break away there. Like
what would you
Drexler.
compare it to, though?
Notre Dame football announcing.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good shot from Jessica.
Point.
Jessica probably wishes this match was starting right now as she's
16.
looking pretty sharp in there. I'm not just talking about those pink shoes. Got crickets on that one. I can hear the chirping.
Now, Dave, can you explain those armbands that Jessica's wearing here?
Well, Robert Griffin III wears them because they're comfortable, he says, and he's willing to pay the fine, and apparently so is she.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
16 serves
They're actually
3.
not part of our uniform, nor is that yellow tank top that she's wearing. So that's a double fine, actually triple since she has the bands on both arms. That's 2 plus the shirt, makes 3.
Score here now 17-3. She's got as many fines as points in this game.
But on the bright side, she's got 1 more point than timeouts called.
Well, that's good.
Point.
Yeah.
It's a good ratio.
Yeah.
It's called the whip here.
18 serves 3.
This is game 2. It was Katrina Casey winning game 1, 21-1.
Bit of power right there from Katrina. This is an overshot from Gawley. Nice long rally here.
There's a party ball.
Is Katrina doing this on purpose? Keeping the ball alive to see how many shots she can hit?
Well, I think Jessica's playing a little bit better defensively right now, not giving Katrina a lot of opportunities to end rallies. Let's see what she does here.
Wow.
Beautiful shot from Jessica.
Falling away, left-handed corner kill from Jessica Gawley ends that 27-shot rally. Felt like 43. Jessica quickly asking how many timeouts she had. That's what happens when you're getting into your mid-30s. You start having these 20, 30-shot rallies. You look up and ask how many timeouts you have left.
I think Jessica's getting Katrina's attention right now in case they match up in possibly Salt Lake City, where they could. Both these ladies are headed there.
Discovered something about Katrina that's pretty interesting, Dave. She plays a game where she'll hit the ball to the right and then go to the left and then go back to the right and then back to the left again. It's pretty interesting. Like, she's out there to make Jessica run as much as possible. She hits that serve to the right, hits it over to the left.
Serves 3.
It's a great angle there. Katrina will wait for a better opportunity, and there it is.
Point.
And Jessica just pins herself behind Katrina there in the backcourt. She gave her the entire court and stood 3 feet behind her, Dave. Surprised for a veteran of Jessica's level to give up that kind of court position.
You see that return of serve right there? But you're right, backing out like that.
And you see that a lot with the women's game, Dave. They seem content to give each other so much room that they're, you know, almost overly fair, but hurting themselves because they're not in a good position to make retrieves. You see a lot of men that maybe aren't necessarily that fast in a race, but they've got such great court position that they take away one shot and they're playing the angles. So really, no matter how well you hit a shot, they can get there. Here's match.
I'm sorry, I was going to say the same thing, match point. But you know, it has been pretty good handball here at the end. I mean, enjoyable.
I agree. I mean, you know, we don't want to make excuses for Jessica, but she doesn't get a chance to play a lot of handball, particularly against a top player like Katrina. And I think that took her a game and a half to really work herself into a comfort zone.
Ball does not make the front wall, another side out.
And I'm sure Jessica wishes that she was able to put more time into her game and compete with Katrina.
Smash.
Well, there it is, Dave. 21-1, 21-3. Katrina Casey from Ireland takes down Jessica Gawley and will now be in the women's finals tomorrow versus Tracy Davis. We're going to take a break. We have the men's semifinals. Paul Brady, the gunner from Ireland, up against Armando Ortiz from Norwalk, California. That's the first men's semifinals match, and then after that it'll be Nadia Alvarado Jr. and Robbie McCarthy. You stick around. For Dave Fink, Dave Vincent, we'll be back in just a bit here at racefor8.com.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.